At first light, a painter stands before an antique mirror, tracing the lines of a face that feels both familiar and strange. "Who am I?" she whispers, fingertips barely grazing the glass. Each dawn brings a new self, yet the question remains, amid change, what anchors me as the same person? Your hair grows and grays, your cells renew every few years. Memories fade and new ones bloom, yet you still feel you, a continuous presence beneath the flux. That silent persistence of self, woven through biology and memory, sparks our deepest wonder. What makes identity endure? Philosophers point to three guiding lights: the Ship of Theseus, where matter is replaced, but identity may persist; Parfit's Fission, where psychological continuity fractures into twins; and continuity theories, weaving memory, body, and story into the self. Tonight, we'll chart each course and ask, after all these changes, who are you? In Athens, the hero Theseus sailed home on a grand vessel. Over decades, each rotting plank was replaced until none of the original wood remained. Yet the Athenians still called it Theseus' ship. If every part changes, is it still the same ship or something entirely new? Philosophers ask, at what point did the ship cease being itself? After the first plank? The last? If identity relied on material, it would vanish long before the final piece. Yet our intuition clings. As long as form and purpose endure, the ship remains continuous. Now imagine collecting all the old planks and rebuilding the ship. You'd have two vessels, one sailing with newly replaced parts, and one standing in the workshop made of originals. Which is the true ship of Theseus? Or are both or neither the authentic one? This thought experiment shows identity cannot rest solely on parts. Instead, perhaps it lies in structure, continuity of function, and purpose, the abstract shipness. The hull's material shifts, but the pattern persists. Could the self be the same, a dynamic pattern, not static matter? Your body, too, replaces its cells. Your mind, its thoughts. If a ship's identity transcends its wood, might the self transcend its flesh? We turn now from vessels to vessels of flesh and memory, to Derek Parfit's radical fission, where continuity itself fractures. Enter Derek Parfit's teleporter. You step into a chamber, your body scanned down to the subatomic level, molecules disassembled here and reassembled identically miles away. Is the person who exits truly you, or merely a replica carrying your memories? You never feel a jolt, yet identity seems to hang by a thread. Now imagine both scanner and reassembler. Activate, your original body remains, and a perfect copy stands beside you. Two yous share every memory up to this moment. Which one is the real you? If sameness of history defines identity, both qualify, and yet they cannot both occupy oneself. The puzzle deepens. Parfit argues that personal identity is not what matters, psychological continuity is. If both copies retain your memories, intentions, and character, it feels arbitrary to privilege one you over the other. Our fixation on a singular self may obscure what truly matters: survival of experience, not strict numerical identity. Real-world science echoes Parfit's fission. Split brain patients exhibit two streams of consciousness when the corpus callosum is severed. In one skull, two minds fight for unity. If a single brain can host branching cells, identity becomes a matter of overlapping narratives, not indivisible souls. If identity can branch, it can also merge. Two lives intertwining into one shared narrative. Couples who become inseparable, communities melding, AI personas integrating. Personal identity stretches beyond individual bodies. We are patterns of relations, ever more fluid than fixed. John Locke argued that what makes you you is not your flesh and blood, but the chain of memories, intentions, and conscious thoughts linking yesterday's self to today's. Imagine waking each morning with a tapestry of recollections, your childhood laughter, your first heartbreak woven into the present mind. That unbroken thread of awareness, Locke says, constitutes the self more truly than any material body ever could. But memories fade, distort, even vanish with amnesia, trauma, or time's erosion. If you forget a cherished event, does the chain break? Continuity theory struggles here. Your sense of self survives despite gaps. Perhaps identity isn't strict remembrance, but a living narrative we reconstruct, piecing together fragments to form a coherent whole. Others insist your body's continuity anchors identity. The same heart that first beat as an embryo still pulses today, yet your cells turn over constantly. You bleed, heal, replace yourself in flesh. If biological continuity claims the crown, then who are you the moment a single cell divides? Perhaps what matters is not sameness of matter, but the preservation of form and organization that maintains life's pattern. Modern thinkers propose the self as story, an ongoing novel, authored by experiences, choices, and reflections. You're both protagonist and narrator, weaving beginnings, middles, and tentative endings into a lifelong arc. Your identity matters not as a static entity, but as the living tale you tell and retell in every conversation and choice. Perhaps the truth blends body, mind, and narrative into a seamless process, a relational identity that emerges from interactions with others, the world, and ourselves. You are defined by cells and memories and stories, but also by the love you give, the marks you leave, and the connections you nurture. Identity, then, is not a thing you have, it is the dynamic web of relationships you sustain over time. Flip through dusty albums, and you'll find a toddler you barely recognize, chubby cheeks, unsteady steps, a laugh frozen in time. Yet you feel a deep kinship with that child. You're still them, despite every cell since then having changed. Identity theories ask, is that bond a matter of continuous memory, bodily continuity, or the narrative that stitches past to present? In every smile, you recognize a thread in your own tapestry of self. You quit your corporate job to become a teacher, changed your beliefs, learned new skills, your appearance, your values, your social circles all shifted. Are you still the same person who once sat behind that desk? Continuity theory says yes, if your memories and intentions link then and now. But what if the narrative arc has radically turned? We find ourselves both old and new in the mirror, navigating identity as an evolving story. Imagine a world where medicine replaces your damaged brain with a donor's healthy one, every neuron, every synapse newly configured, yet carrying your memories mapped onto the new tissue. Do you awaken still yourself, or someone else entirely? The Ship of Theseus and Parfit's Fission converge here, split between matter and mind, challenging the very core of personal continuity. In the digital frontier, companies promise to upload your consciousness into virtual realms, copying every thought, feeling, and memory into code. When you log in, are you truly living on, or merely a simulation echoing your past? Conceptualism might say the concept persists, nominalism, the label, Platonism, the ideal self, but which version do we call you in cyberspace? Laws tie identity to passports and fingerprints. But what if you possessed a biological clone, your double, standing beside you? Who inherits your estate? Who stands trial? The entanglement of material, memory, and narrative forces us to rethink identity in the courtroom and at the dinner table. Our legal systems rest upon a notion of singular selves, but metaphysics reveals our selfhood may be far more fluid. If a perfect copy of you stands ready, do they deserve your rights, your memories, your debts? Ethical dilemmas arise. Is it murder to destroy a clone, or suicide to erase a digital upload? Our theories shape justice. Platonists may see the copy as shadow, nominalists as mere name-bearer, conceptualists as sharing the same mental stream. The stakes of identity aren't academic. They determine life, eth, and dignity in a world of replicas. As you evolve, shedding beliefs, cultivating virtues, you're reborn many times over. Continuity theories encourage you to cherish each version of yourself. The child, the rebel, the healer. Rather than cling to a static you, celebrate your chapters. Your identity is not prison, but tapestry woven with threads of change that add depth and color. Mindfulness reminds you that the self is lived moment by moment. Sit quietly, observe thoughts and sensations, and notice the you that witnesses change. In that awareness, you glimpse the continuity beyond passing moods and bodies. The self becomes not an object, but the presence that holds experience together. Therapy often rewrites your life story, reframing wounds, reconnecting broken memory loops, forging a coherent narrative. By telling your past with compassion, you reshape your identity. Continuity is not fixed truth, but living story. Each new insight retells who you are, allowing healing and growth to redefine you. Now it's your turn. Reflect on a moment that reshaped you: first love, loss, triumph, or discovery. Share in the comments. What plank was swapped in your Theseus ship? What memory fissioned or fused your sense of self? By speaking your story, you join a living mosaic of identities unfolding. Your life is a narrative, woven from countless moments. Each choice, memory, and change a sentence in your ongoing story. You are not a static statue, but a living book, authored by experiences both grand and mundane. Recognize that your selfhood lies not in unchanging matter, but in the plot you continue to write each day. Derek Parfit reminded us, survival is more important than identity. It's less about naming an unbroken you, and more about preserving the flow of experience that matters. If your values, memories, and intentions persist, even in a new form, you survive. Let this shift your focus from clinging to sameness toward nurturing continuity of being. Imagine identity not as an unchanging rock, but as a river constantly moving, sculpting its banks, carrying life along its currents. You may feel the pull of continuity, even as the waters shift beneath you. Embrace that flow, trusting that the river's essence persists amid every eddy and wave. Change is the gift you unwrap daily: new insights, new bonds, new beginnings. Clinging to a fixed self can blind you to possibilities. Instead, welcome transformation as the hallmark of being alive. Each alteration is an opportunity to redefine you with intention and grace. This journey through identity tends not with answers, but with an invitation to become the author of your own continuity. Reflect on who you were, celebrate who you are, and imagine who you will become. Your next chapter begins now. Write it boldly. Think back to the moment you felt most changed: your first heartbreak, a life-altering decision, the birth of a child. That instant reshaped your story forever. Share it below. What plank did you replace in your ship? Which memory sparked a new narrative? Your story helps others see identity as the living, breathing tapestry it truly is. This space is for seekers, storytellers, and questioners. Comment your reflections, respond to others, can weave our shared journey of self-discovery. Together, we map the shifting contours of identity, celebrating continuity in change and bonding over the universal quest to know who we are. Don't let this end as a thought exercise. Try this. Tomorrow morning, write 3 memories that define you, and 3 hopes that drive you. Observe how these lists overlap and diverge from who you were. In that reflection lies the power to shape your next chapter with clarity and purpose. If today's exploration stirred your mind and moved your heart, subscribe and ring the bell. We'll continue unraveling philosophy's greatest puzzles: consciousness, free will, the nature of reality, guiding you through each topic with curiosity and care. Up next, we delve into the ultimate enigma. What is consciousness? How does the river of identity transform into the bright spark of awareness? Prepare to journey inward, where material, mind, and meaning converge. In every reflection, you glimpse both who you were and who you might become. The next time you look in the mirror, see not a static face, but a horizon of possibilities. Each wrinkle a story, each spark in your eye a promise of chapters yet unwritten. Identity isn't just history, it's prophecy. We are not islands, but archipelagos, our identities shaped by family, friends, and strangers who touch our lives. Each relationship weaves a thread into our tapestry of self. Embrace the community around you. In shared memories and mutual support, you find continuity that no solitary journey can provide. Rather than a final product, see yourself as a process, an ongoing flow of becoming. Like a river that is never the same water twice, you persist in change. This processual view frees you from the tyranny of fixed identity, inviting you to dance with transformation rather than resist it. Pause and give thanks for each phase of your life. The innocence of childhood, the trials of youth, the wisdom of age. Every version of you has been necessary to bring you here. Gratitude for past selves opens the door to grace for future transformations. After all the planks replaced, the duplicates made, and the memories retold, one truth endures. You are the sum of your experiences, the stories you carry, and the relationships that root you. Let this realization guide you. Identity is less an answer to find, and more a question to live. Your self-story is unfinished, and that is its greatest gift. Release the pressure to arrive at a final definition. Instead, cherish the unwritten pages, the blank canvases, the open questions. In the space between who you were and who you'll be, life unfolds in all its messy, beautiful complexity. If this journey through identity has sparked your curiosity, let it be the first of many. Subscribe and ring the bell to join our next exploration, What is Consciousness?, where we dive into the ultimate mystery of self and awareness. Your next adventure awaits. Thank you for sharing your time, your thoughts, and your moments of reflection. In every comment, every like, and every share, you extend this conversation, this living story, beyond the single screen. You're not just a viewer, you're a participant in the unfolding tapestry of ideas. This channel is a community of seekers, thinkers, and dreamers. Your insights fuel each video. Continue the dialogue on our social channels. Let's build a space where questions are honored and wonder thrives together. We traced identity through material change, psychological threads, narrative arcs, and relational webs. We wrestled with Theseus's ship, Parfit's Fission, and the river of self. May these ideas enrich your everyday choices and deepen your appreciation for the self's wondrous dance. Next week, we plunge into consciousness itself. How does the river of self crystallize into the spark of awareness? Prepare for What is Consciousness?, the ultimate odyssey of mind and being. May you move through life with kindness, curiosity, and courage, aware that each change enriches, each story matters, and each breath affirms your place in the grand continuum of being. Until our next journey, may you remain wonderfully, unmistakably you.